Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome. I'm so excited to be here with y'all this morning. Just checking on the stream everywhere, making sure that it's all actually working. Hey, thanks for the follow, Cress. Kat. Hello. Welcome, y'all. For those of you who haven't been to one of my streams before, hi, I'm Dimmer. I'm a coach with Major League Hacking. I use they, them pronouns. And yeah, we're going to have a really fun stream today. We're starting a process. And that process is creating a 3D map in Unity. We have 3 streams to work on this. So this stream today, then we stream tomorrow, and then I believe we stream on Friday as well. Let me double check. Yes, we stream on Friday as well. So the next 3 days, we're going to be spending like 2 hours a day working on this map. And the goal today is to do kind of the higher level stuff. We're going to be planning out what we want as like our minimum viable product. Because the goal is to create an environment that would be interesting for a player to just run around in. So we're gonna do some planning. We're gonna find inspiration. We're gonna gather resources, and then tomorrow we're gonna start putting it together. Hopefully, we get that like minimum viable product working, and then on Friday we're gonna polish it up and try looking into things like optimization and stuff like that. That's important for game development. So that's the general plan for our 3D map design adventure. Later today, also, I have a stream from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. where we're going to be basically just playing a great game called Going Under that is a critique and an analysis of the big tech industry in the US and probably around the world. And we're going to be talking about how the developers have used game design to tell a narrative and to make an argument without necessarily needing to be explicit about it. I think it's a great case study for that. So we're basically just going to be playing a game and talking about it. It's going to be great. Hello. Welcome, y'all. Yeah, so I'm excited. Some good streams today, starting with this one right here. With that being said, we have this wonderful blank screen that we can do whatever we want with, and I'm going to introduce y'all to PureRef. PureRef is a piece of software that is basically just like a reference gathering tool. And the goal of it is to be able to take a bunch of things from like the internet that you find inspiring, things like that, put it all in one place and then be able to easily access it. So this is used a lot by like 3D artists and things like that, people who work in Blender, that sort of thing. But I want to start by using this to grab inspiration of like 3D maps and games that we really think are cool that we want to implement something from. So the first part of the stream is just going to be us kind of crawling the internet, talking about our favorite games and gathering inspiration. And then we're going to go in the second half of the stream and try finding existing like 3D models and resources and assets and things like that to build out that idea. So if you want to tell me in chat your favorite game world that you've ever played in, and we can start from there. I'm going to start us off by grabbing. Here we go. Yoink. Woohoo Island Wii Sports Resort. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Right here. This island is... Oh, I spelled that way wrong. Woohoo spelled like that. Is the island that the game Wii Sports Resort happened on. And you would be... It's a mini game collection of different sports for the Wii. And you would play all of the different mini games on this one island. So it provided a cohesive world for you to be doing this. And the cool part about it was there were... So you might be... Let's see if we can... Okay. Let's take a look at the wiki page to see. Great. So there are all of these different locations on the island. Let me see if I recognize one. Okay. Entrance to the mysterious ruins. Oh, it doesn't actually give us a very good picture of it. Here we go. This is a minigame collection of sports. And somewhere on this island, there's like a mysterious ruins. So you might be like playing in like the bowling alley at one point. And hey, oh look, there's a bowling alley. But also in this game, you might be flying a plane over the island or like biking around the island, and you got to like explore as well as have these specific locations. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this and I'm just going to click and drag Woohoo Island onto our PureRef here. And then I believe we can crop it. No, that's rotating it. I used to use this a lot. So I was pulling it up here. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Cyclops Budgie, for dropping the check-in link. Okay, we'll deal with cropping later. So this is where I'm starting us off, but we have some people in chat. Let's take a look at Elden Ring. I have not played Elden Ring, but I've obviously heard about Elden Ring. Let's take a look at this. Oh my goodness. So this is a great example of like this open world that is just filled with different things. We've Breath of the Wild as well. The Mojave Wasteland, Fallout New Vegas, iconic game. Which language do you use to create the 3D map? Chances are we aren't actually going to be writing code for this. This is where we get into game design that is more of an art form rather than like your traditional computer science. Okay. Feel free to keep dropping them. Also, feel free to talk about, like, I don't know, small, weird little games. One that I would love to add to this list is a short hike, which is just a game where you're going on a hike up a mountain, and it's very cute, and the map is beautiful. Also, Paper Mario main hub. Pikuniku. Oh, that's a great example. Okay, we'll take a look at this in a bit. So for Elden Ring, what do we think is good about Elden Ring specifically? So the reason I grabbed this is because I love the aesthetic of Wuhu Island, and I want to use that partly because it's not super detailed, like it was a Wii game, but also it's just like very bright and cheerful and just like good vibes. Like if we just had a game where you could walk around, I would walk around on Wuhu Island. Now, thinking about what I know about Elden Ring, what I would say Elden Rings is the like detail in the story, where there's story beats at every part of the land. No matter where you go, there is this like rich world building that you feel like you're part of something bigger. That's what I would say. Like, as evidenced by the look of this map itself, is like a very specific thing. But also, I'd be curious. Who said Elden Ring? Why can't I see this? Wait. Oh my goodness. I cannot read. Crunch Companion. If you want to say in chat what specifically you really like about Elden Ring. And then Breath of the Wild, what I think makes Breath of the Wild specifically good as a world is that it's not necessarily that the story is everywhere, but there are Easter eggs everywhere. There's like the tower that has like the skull on top of it, that if you crawl along the outside of the skull, you get a really good sword. There are the Koroks everywhere. It has all of these little details so that your exploration always feels rewarded. It always feels like it's worth to like go around the corner and see what happens. For Fallout New Vegas, this is again a game that I've like played for like 5 minutes. So I'm curious to know what y'all like about Fallout New Vegas in chat. Solo Diolo, if you want to talk about that in chat. A short hike. Again, I'm going to grab a picture for the aesthetics. Oh, this is such a beautiful game. Let's make this smaller. And actually, we can have this stay on top. Ba-ba-ba. So the thing about PureRef is it's beautiful and wonderful if you use it a lot, because everything is key bindings. Okay, I know that theoretically it's possible, but what we're gonna do is crop. There we go. Actually, there we go. Okay. So we have Wuhu Island. I love the map design and especially the realistic design on North New Vegas with a nuclear wasteland twist on it based on the real city. Ooh, that's great. Okay, so it's specifically that it's based off of a real place. Let's see. Actually, let's open a VS Code. And let's start taking some notes. As well as, you can see the Unity game we were working on yesterday. Hi, morning to you too. Okay, let's let's create a new folder that is Global Hack Week Games. And in here, we're going to create a map design doc.md, a markdown file. And here I'm going to games to pull inspiration from. And I started with Woohoo Island, Wii Sports Resort, but then we have Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, Fallout New Vegas, and then Piku, Niku, and a short hike. Great. Okay. So, things that I want to pull from Woohoo Island. Fairly flat and simple texturing. Bright and fun to exist in. And then it's the unexpected like places / you wouldn't expect to find a castle in Wii Sports. So that's what I liked about that. We have Elden Ring, which I can talk about what I think is interesting about Elden Ring, but again, in chat. And then Breath of the Wild, again, feel free to say things in chat. The Mojave Wasteland, based off of a real city, but with a twist. Nuclear fallout. Pikuniku, again, feel free to talk about that. I think I have some thoughts about Pikuniku. And then a short hike. What I am specifically wanting to pull from a short hike is the fact that the world feels safe / real. Like you aren't being asked to kill a dragon. You're just going for a walk. It like gives me like really strong senses of nostalgia because of that, like, oh yeah, I'm just going for a walk. Like I'm just exploring the forest, and you just like meet people and you talk to them. And it is just like, you can tell that like the two that I have brought up are like very light and happy. And I'm picturing like this game world where like your main character is just a penguin and you're just like walking around this like cute little island that we've made. Elden Ring, I'm going to say that Elden Ring, the story / world building is everywhere. All of your exploration / adventuring gives you a better understanding of the rest of the world. And then within here, also specifically that like there is a lot of freedom in how you overcome challenges, which is also very similar to Breath of the Wild. But also within Breath of the Wild, there are cute secrets everywhere. While there isn't a ton of world building, you are rewarded for exploring. Again, it's that whimsy factor that I think is very cool. And then Piku Niku. Piku Niku, for those of you who don't know, is another indie game that is about you being this little red blob character, and you're like going through the world trying to like, I believe the general plot is like trying to save the world from a mega corporation that is like doing bad things, but also you're just like interacting with this wonderful cast of characters, and there's like this great sense of humor that like this is what like a major level of the game looks like, where you're just like underground and it's all worms and you have these like cute little blobs and you're all just blobs, and it is just like cute and fun. Piku Niku music game. I'm looking for one specific thing. Piku Niku dubstep game. So I'm looking for one specific moment. Piku Niku helping. I paused the background music because I'm hopefully going to play a bit video. Helping make the song. There's like this one very specific moment that those of you who've played Piku Niku know that I'm talking about, that I want to be able to show y'all. Yes. So wait, not in the club. The club is its own thing. I'm thinking about the person that you're talking to who's making music, and he asks you to like add the finishing touch onto the music that he's making. How would I find this? Okay. We'll just scrub through this video. Here's a great example of just like a giant bird. Oh. So we have this like wonderful world that's just like super zany. Oh yeah, you can just like draw the face that's going to be put on the scarecrow. Again, you have like this level of like you are directly interacting with the world and changing things. Just don't end up watching gameplay videos on YouTube, mate. Been through that a lot. So I'm trying to find a specific example for y'all. I have played this game up to a certain point. I didn't end up finishing it. I really struggle to finish games. Love game design, struggle to finish games. I'm looking to just show y'all a specific moment. Okay, let's at least show you the club scene. Because I think this is like the least popular game that we've talked about thus far. Okay, so we've entered this club, and there's like, oh no, like this big controversy of like everyone's too busy dancing. So there's this robot, and you need to challenge it to a dance battle. This isn't a game about, like, taking down capitalism and how it destroys communities.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And you just start doing this. I think that this game is a great example of, like, narrative storytelling through world building, because you get so much of the tone and the texture of the game not told explicitly to you ever, but through your interactions with the world, what it expects you to do. I mean, you're looking at Pikuniku, a truly wonderful indie game. I also love the character design in this game because it gives you, like, a sense. Oh my goodness, this is quite loud. It gives you, like, a very specific sense of who you are as a character, because you are just a blob with legs, and the way you interact with the world is, like, also defined by that. Like, you're just, like, kicking a lot of things, and you're, like, weirdly spinning and jumping and all of, like, this just, like, good vibes. And you beat the robot capitalists in a dance battle. There is, there's one specific moment that I don't know if they got to in this playthrough, or if they did. Let me go to the Pikuniku.
Hello, Dimmer.
Hello. Oh, also, for those of you who don't know, TTS is on. You can use the ! TTS command before your chat message, and it will come through. Pikuniku wiki.
Hello, Dimmer.
Hello, hello. Apparently, the fandom wiki doesn't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Pikuniku wiki. Only 47 pages. Okay. I'm really looking for, okay, let's plot. No, I just want, this is the one thing about indie games, is that there isn't always the best, like, community documentation around what it is. I know exactly the, like, single moment that made me love this game. Okay. Well, Pikuniku, good game, highly recommend. Okay. So, taking a look here, what I'm going to talk about with Pikuniku is, again, that whimsy, but again, the way your like character interacts with the world is like, it's both based on your character design, like you are just like a small sphere that can like kick, and like that shows through everything. But also the way your character interacts with the world is like varied and diverse. Again, this is mostly a puzzle platformer, and then you suddenly get into a dance battle. So, any other games, favorite game worlds that y'all enjoyed being in? Oh wait, let's get that background music back. Some of those good lo-fi beats. In hindsight, Pure Ref would be great if we were doing something that's purely visual, but we're doing more game design about what we want the players to like be feeling and trying to do. Also, highly recommend A Short Hike. It goes on sale fairly frequently. Like, add it to your wish lists on GOG. For those of you who don't know, Good Old Games is a alternative game store that is made by CD Projekt Red, but they just sell games without DRM. So that means that you truly own the game. Like, you don't need to sign into your Steam account. You don't need to sign into a Good Old Games account. You just have a file that you can run to play the game. But yeah, very good game. Highly recommend. Okay. I think we have a good concept of what some cool game worlds felt like. Now, I think we should try like figuring out what we want to make. And again, we want to make this small, minimum viable product. We have like maybe 4 hours to work on it, and then probably more like 2 or 3 actually, with like troubleshooting and learning about optimization and things like that. So we have like 2 or 3 hours to like bring this together. So let's open up what would be the best program for this? Hi, it's my face, very big, while I figure out what is the best like paint program that I have on my computer. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Loading, because of course. While we're waiting for something to download and load, how are y'all doing? How's your Global Hack Week been so far? We're like almost at the halfway point. Do y'all have a favorite stream? Favorite project? Favorite challenge? Anyone want to shill for their guild? Now's the time. For those of you who haven't been to one of my streams before, know that there's like some extra customization here. We talked about TTS, but also closed captions are on when I stream. So you can turn on closed captions on Twitch or YouTube. I only see Twitch chat. Sadly, I'm working on being able to see YouTube chat. So if you're on YouTube, you've probably left by now because I wasn't responding to you. I'm sorry. Oh, also, we have custom emotes. I'm trying to install a paint program to be able to draw and talk to y'all that's not Photoshop. But we have fun little emotes. like Blob Dance and Blahaj Go Spin. What we do next? So we're installing Tayasui. I don't know how to pronounce this app name, but it is a very good, just like sketching paint program. And we're going to draw out what we want the island to look like, because we're going to be building a small island. But I need to have a program to be able to draw that small island, and I don't have a paint program installed. I have a separate user for streaming versus my personal, and I don't have a paint program installed on it because I've just been like writing code and things like that. So we're waiting. Exciting, I know. But we're getting close. We can see it. Okay, here we go. Great.
Does graphic designing be an integral part for game development?
Yeah, so game development is super cross-disciplinary, and it's always interesting for me to think about, especially when people who come from a technical background, like myself, are interested in game design, because you can have the technical skill to be able to make gravity and the interactions that you want, but your game is based on the story that you're telling and the experience that you're getting, or that you're giving users. So, like, hey, thanks for the follow, Shishwat. Graphic design and like the art style can be very important. The writing can be very important. The like implications of the mechanics, like how does that make the user interact with your game? All of this is super important. Game design is like a fascinating academic field for me. I've talked before about how like I love game design, but I struggle to play games. There are tons of people on the internet who talk about games and game design from like a more academic perspective of like analyzing these things. Game Maker's Toolkit is a YouTube channel that I would 1000% highly recommend. He has been like analyzing games, talking to game developers, doing that for years, and then he's also like trying to create his own game right now, and he's walking people through that process. He's the channel that we, like 2 months ago, we did Intro to Unity. There are a bunch of Intro to Unity things happening this week as well, but he was the channel that we used as a tutorial for that, as a jumping off point. So yeah, there are a lot of things that are like super important in game design that are like more art oriented rather than technical oriented. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. So I'm not an artist, as we'll see by this sketch, but I'll be able to find resources, and like as long as I'm aware of those limitations, we'll still be able to create something pretty cool. So I'm gonna create an island, and I have my squiggly blobby island shape. And then what I want is if I, okay, let's grab this color. I want like a path that goes around the edge of the island, so we give the player some place to like follow. And then we're going to put some things on that path, but then also I want to have some things that go up towards, if we have a mountain on this island, and then we have something on the peak. Like what if we had a lake on the peak of the island? Now it's a question of like, okay, so we can see my inspiration here coming from A Short Hike, which is a game about climbing a mountain. We can see it from Woohoo Island, which is a game that is like defined by its paths that you can run along. Now let's take inspiration from some of our other places. Elden Ring, I don't know how much we're going to be able to like pull from this, because it's about world building and storytelling and like this rich world with all this writing that's been done. But Breath of the Wild, it's like the cute secrets, we can pull those. The Mojave Wasteland, based off of a real city, we can totally pull from this. And then for A Short Hike, it's character interaction, which we won't be able to implement. So I think what we can now add is little like secrets, like Breath of the Wild, and then if we were to add like a small town based off of a town. So I'm thinking, what if this part of the island has trees? So this is like a forest. And in that forest, we have a cabin. This is our cabin. And then inside the cabin, we can like add, I don't know, like a glowing rubber duck or something. Oh, a great example of this sort of environmental storytelling is Goat Simulator, where in the like original Goat Simulators, you didn't necessarily have a whole lot of like talking or things like that, but there would be fun little things scattered all about the world that you would be interacting with as a goat. Okay. And then let's make one part a beach. So you have a beach, and then what if we were to, I don't know, grab a lifeguard stand and some towels? So you have beach, and then let's grab a town. And what I want to do here is I would love to base this off of my town of Ypsilanti. So we're going to have a town there. And now what do we want? Like, let's add some spice, sprinkle in some like fun little moments. And this would be like a good place to think about, like, okay, what is the tone of the game? Like, what would be like our equivalent of Koroks? And that's why I'm like open to y'all's way of thinking. This is like 3D platformers. Oh, great examples of world design. Banjo Kazooie, not Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo Kazooie is a like iconic 3D platformer with great world design, and 3D platformers are like the tropes of a 3D platformer. You have this 3D world that you're exploring, but also you have all of these different items that you're trying to collect. So in Banjo Kazooie, it's like golden puzzle pieces and music notes. In A Short Hike, it's golden feathers. In Super Mario Odyssey, it's moons. What if we were to... So again, I thought it'd be very cute if our main character was a penguin that was just walking around. So what if we had like little fish that were hidden all around the island? Fish hidden. Hey, thanks for the follow, Maximus. Hidden on island. And it's with those like little sardines or fish or whatever that we can add the little Easter eggs that people find interesting. And then this will be ocean. This is an example of we're like trying to create a world and we're trying to do this game design. And this is like a cool ideal thing that we could make. But now we need to take a step back and like try using some realism here of like, what can we actually make? Like, what is our actual like ability to implement these, especially in the short time that we have. So we have this cool idea. Let's take a look on the internet to see what resources there are already out there. So we've done this once before, and I believe I made a doc. Of resources for game development. Here we go. Great. We have this low poly forest pack, and this is low poly geology. So I think if we use this free low poly forest pack to have like rocks and trees for our world, like we're trying to so to take a step back, we've now done this thinking about like, what do we want the game to look like? What do we want this world to be? We've pulled inspiration. We've made like a fun little drawing. Now it's a question of how do we actually make that? So my goal is, because we have limited time and because I'm not an artist, we're going to try finding resources that people have already made that we can then use in our game. This was kind of like a response to people being like, use AI tooling to generate things automatically. Well, artists have already like created things and made them for free for use in games. All assets are free for any use, whether it's personal or commercial, but please don't resell them. Hey, oh look, this person just like wants people to use their assets. So that is, it was on itch. Browse game assets. Here we go. View all tags. Let's take a look at some low poly game assets here. We have trees. I would love a mountain and I would love some buildings.
If yes, what is your experience?
So I've like touched Unreal Engine a couple of times, but I've never made anything in it. Unreal Engine is a really interesting platform because it's very specific in what it wants you to do. You can do a lot of things with it, but it has a very specific idea of what a game looks like. Specifically like photoreal usually. I know Fortnite is like a very popular example, but like fairly realistic photoreal 3D, like it wants a very specific type of game development. And I've never been in a place to build that type of game. So the game engine that I worked with before we started on this Unity journey was Godot. Highly recommend the Godot game engine. It's open source. It's wonderful. It has a lot of feature parity with Unity, but it has a little bit less community support and documentation because it is a smaller open source project. But no, I have not used Unreal Engine, or I wouldn't say that I have. But it is definitely a good tool. Okay. There's the Ultimate Platformer pack. Another low poly tree pack. Modular terrain pack. We have the low poly forest. Low poly city pack. There we go. Okay. Animals could be interesting. Vehicles, shrubs and mushrooms. Some of these won't work. We'll need to like take a look and see if they'll work together. Environmental props. This has textures and tile sets, which could be very good. Okay. This seems like a good start. Let's take a look at these. The Ultimate Platformer pack. What is actually in this? This is not necessarily what we're looking for. It is good for a very specific type of game, but that is not the game we are trying to make. We have another low poly tree pack, which could be good. The modular terrain pack. Hey, great. Already designed for Unity. This, I think, will be very useful for our game. Yeah, a bunch of props. Oh my goodness. This, I think, will be great. Let me see more information. Is the YouTube stream turned off? No, it should be running. Yeah, the YouTube stream. Yeah, YouTube is still streaming. Yeah, we don't have necessarily license. Wait, oh. Okay, hey, it is CC0 public domain. Hey, public domain licensing. Thank you to Fertile Soil Productions. We have this low poly city pack. Here we go. This is an example of something that won't necessarily work for us because it is low poly, but high texture and high detail. So that's not necessarily what we want. But these animals look perfect. A little bit crazy, but very great. Low poly cars. I think these could be good. Shrubs, mushrooms, flowers, amazing. Now, these environmental textures. Yeah, I don't think these are really what we need, but the roads / paths could be nice. So I'll keep it here, but in an ideal world, this modular terrain pack would be what we'd be using mostly. And then we have this low poly environment pack, which has does not use vertex colors. Okay. So what I really need now is a good city that will fit with what we have. Honestly, this looks pretty good. But let's keep scrolling for a bit, see if we can find a good city pack, because we do want hopefully a town and maybe like a log cabin or something. That was some brick houses. Do you just want a roll of toilet paper? Hey, how to start with the Global Hack Week. Okay, so you're going to want to go to ghw.mlh.io. I'm going to drop this link in chat for you. This website has all of the information that you need for getting involved with Global Hack Week. So you can see that we're in the middle of Global Hack Week games. And you have the information on joining guilds, which are like groups of people who are working together on projects. And like MLH can be a huge community, so joining a guild can give you like a smaller subset that can be easier to like approach and interact with at first. We also have challenges that are like, there are different ones for every game. So like build a snake game. Hey, oh look, we built a snake game last month in Unity. Or like take a coffee or tea break with another hacker. There are a bunch of different challenges that you can do. There is, I should not have closed that. There's also on this website the schedule where you can see all the different things like 3D map design in Unity, part 1. Hey, I wonder what stream that is. So you're going to want day 3, not day 2. But you have the schedule, and then you also have the link to join the Discord, which I think is the most important thing. Join the Discord. The Discord is where like all the community is. It's where you can ask questions. It's where you can meet people. Very cool stuff. So yeah, this website, challenges, Discord, schedule, that sort of thing. Feel free to ask more specific questions if you want. And again, feel free to ask tons of questions in the Discord. The community is super supportive and cool. Yeah, no, Really glad to help out. I love the MLH community. I'm so glad that I get to be a part of it. I checked again on YouTube, but there's no live stream going right now on the MLH channel. There is, though. Like, on my end, okay. Let's... What? Oh my goodness. Why is it private? Why is it a private live stream? How can you even make a private live stream? Why is that a thing? Do you want to stream on YouTube, but do it in a way that no one can see you? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. From my perspective, I see, like, looking at the YouTube dashboard, that, like, I am still live right now. Huh. Ugh. When did that change? Okay, there we go. It's live now. You can see it. Thanks for letting me know. I really appreciate that. Wait. So there's that live. Was I live last time? No, I'll need to go back through and share. Oh my goodness. My like previous 2 streams aren't showing on here. Thank you for letting me know. I will work to fix that. Yes, but not YouTube. You are not. Yes. You are, but not YouTube. Oh, yeah, I'm live here, but not on YouTube. Is it for members or something? That's why it's private? No, it's just meant to be for everyone. I just messed up the settings. For those of you who don't know, I stream slightly differently from the other MLHers, as evidenced by, like, what the stream setup looks like. And I do that so that I can make sure that I have, like, closed captions, and theoretically latency should be lower, and it's how text-to-speech works, and all of these things. Which is like great and wonderful and incredible, but also there's still some technical issues that I'm working out. So I really appreciate being told that, so I can work to like fix that to make sure that everyone can see. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ooh, I'm having trouble adding my address for stickers. Could someone help me with that, please? Reach out in the Discord. You can make a ticket. Let me show you in the Discord. If you scroll, I believe it's in support tickets. Yes, you can go to the support tickets channel and you can make a Global Hack Week support ticket. And if you fill out this information, an MLHer will be able to reach out to you and help. So there is swag. Let's Global Hack Week. Not George H.W. Bush. Swag. There's plenty to be excited about at Global Hack Week. We want to make sure that you have a chance to rep Global Hack Week long after the weekends. To earn our basic swag, which includes a sticker pack and a postcard, make sure you've checked into the event, which includes joining the MLH Community Discord server and submitting an address to @hackp.ac/address. turn our bonus swag, which includes extra stickers, make sure you attend at least 5 live sessions at Global Hack Week. And that is checking in with the link that was dropped above, and I can drop that check-in link again. Swag. Let me grab that link for y'all to make sure you can check in. I've mentioned this before. My mouse occasionally just like dies, and it's just like staying clicked down on something, and then I need to turn it off and back on again. Okay, 3D map design in Unity. Ka-chow. Paste. Is this a live session you're conducting right now? Yes, it is. So if you go to that link, you can check in, and that will make sure that we know that you attended a live session. So even if you were to just go to my streams, I believe I have like this. There's this one. There's one again today, 1 to 3, and there's tomorrow 10 to noon, and then Friday 10 to noon, and then Sunday 4 to 6. So like even if you were to just attend mine, you could attend 5. There are constantly streams happening. How many sessions? You need to attend at least 5 sessions for bonus swag, but to earn the basic swag, which is a sticker pack and a postcard, just make sure you've checked into the event. So joining the Discord and submitting an address. Again, you can also ask questions about this in a ticket or just like in the Discord. Oh, I'm blind. You're totally fine. I know when I'm looking at a live stream, there's always a lot happening. So feel free to ask questions. I'm here to help. So we need to go to this link so the one that I did up above is for check-in. hackp.ac/address is the link for adding your address. So I'm going to drop that in chat. hackp.ac/address. How to use them. So let's talk about channel points for a second. Channel point rewards on the MLH Twitch channel, we don't have too many uses for them because, again, most people don't stream directly through Twitch. I am the only streamer who right now is. So at times, you can use channel point rewards on my stream to do things like play sound effects and like summon a goose that walks across the screen. Last month, we did that a whole heck of a lot, but it made it very hard to stream. So I'm currently like reworking how they work so that it's not just constantly metal pipe sounds falling, which was very fun, but also it made it a little bit hard to stream. So save your channel points and come to my streams. Channel point rewards are coming. They are a thing. They're being worked on. They're just a little bit up in the air still. Okay. So hey, hello. We're about halfway through the stream, and I'm trying to do something new this month, which is making sure to take like a 5-minute break in the middle of each stream to give people a time to like stand up, walk around, get water, that sort of thing, as well as allowing myself to like get water and things like that. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. Let me set the timer. And we're going to come back in 5 minutes. So feel free to like take care of yourself, like get some water, and then also like feel free to use TTS and like send emotes all over the waiting screen. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Hey, I got you with the link. Give me 1 sec. Hello, hello. Welcome back, y'all, from our fun break. Stood up, grabbed some water. Link is being dropped in chat now. There you go. Link right there in chat for you. Welcome back, y'all. So glad to help. So, where we left off before we took a break, we were gathering resources for our game, and I think we have a good collection of stuff. And now I think what we need to do is start thinking about one minimum viable product. So, like, just vibe. You just vibe. You've done all the things you've needed to do. Now just, if you want that bonus swag pack, attend 5 events total. This is one of them. Other than that, do challenges. If you want to do that, attend events, hang out in the Discord. I don't know. I like Global Hack Weeks because where a hackathon can sometimes be a little bit stressful, because you're like trying to get a project together in like 24 hours. Here we like you can like choose how much involvement you're looking for. How to become a streamer with Global Hack Week. So MLH was hiring at one point, but I believe given the current macroeconomic situation in the tech industry, MLH is not currently hiring. Let me check on that for you. Hey, congrats on already attending 5 sessions. I believe pixel art and Pygame and all of that counts. I think any live session, technical or I think all sessions do. I don't think it should be only technical. I think even the like mini events should count. How do I know if my address has been added? Because I don't see it on my MLH profile. If you filled out that form, your address has been added. That form doesn't actually work automatically. It adds to a spreadsheet and then blah, 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 blah. But also you can reach out, make a ticket if you're really concerned. I'm going to drop the MLH careers link in chat. MLH isn't currently hiring streamers, but there is, and I don't believe they're actively hiring coaches, but there is the ability to apply. I started at MLH as a coach. I still am a coach. Coaches are the people from MLH who like go to hackathons and help organizers and hackers and things like that. And then if you're a coach, you can also stream, but then there are also specific streamers. It's a little complicated, but Dimmer Twitter ID. I don't use Twitter. I have a Twitter technically, but Twitter's kind of on fire. Thank you. MLH sends out a daily email with how many streams events you've checked into. That's great. Dimmer, do you have a LinkedIn account? Yes, I do. You can find me basically anywhere on the internet with Nathan Dimmer. I go by Dimmer. Just the daily opening ceremony, just after the daily opening ceremony with your points. Oh, yes. Thank you. I don't check my LinkedIn very often, so it might get me a while to get back to you, but when's the next live stream? So we have this live stream, which we're going to be done in like 30 to 40 minutes. And then right after that, stick around, because right after this, we have Today in Global Hack Week, which is like noon to like 12:30, where they're going to be going over all the next streams that are coming up and things like that, and answering all your questions. And like that is the place to go if you want to learn more about Global Hack Week. So that's right after this stream. And then after that, we have like Build a Video Game on the Web with Alberto, Hacking with iOS Scene Kit. We have cross-platform games. Like we have a whole bunch of streams basically happening at all times. My next streams, though, I stream. Oh. I put my stream schedule wrong in my Google Calendar. So after this stream ends today, I'm not streaming again today, but then tomorrow, 3D Map Design Unity Part 2 is happening at 10, and then 1 to 3 is tomorrow, is when we're doing an exploration of game design and world building. So you won't see me again today after the stream, but tomorrow you will see me twice. And then, yeah. Oops, I flipped 2 days in my Google Calendar. So there are a bunch of streams happening today. I'm not streaming again today after this. Favorite programming language? I'm probably most comfortable with Python. It's what I have the most experience with. JavaScript is the one that I think is the most powerful, given that I spent most of my time as a front-end web dev. But I'm using C# now for Unity. Any suggestions for MLH Fellowship? Okay. MLH Fellowship. For those of you who don't know, MLH runs a fellowship program where you apply and you hopefully get partnered with a tech company that is doing like open source work and things like that. It's very cool. Check out. I'll drop a link for it. I'm probably not the best person. I'm going to drop this link in chat, fellowship.mlh.io, where you can learn more. Yeah, so you work with like open source projects and existing software developers in like kind of an internship, but not necessarily an internship because it is like it's very education oriented. Again, fellowship. When you're applying, I do some work in the admissions team for the fellowship. My recommendations are like be specific of why you want to join the fellowship specifically, because it's not a traditional internship. Like we aren't necessarily looking for you to be like, I'm the best software developer in the world. We want you to be talking about like, what are you interested in specifically with MLH and the fellowship? Are you like interested in open source or like learning or like these different things? And then also like make sure to double check that your code sample is actually linked correctly. It's always the saddest thing when we have to reject people because their code sample links to like a private GitHub repo. Yeah, and like make sure that your code sample follows MLH's guidelines, so it's not a GitHub gist or gist, and it's not like a school project, and it's not a Jupyter notebook. Those are like general advice. You'll see these all over the application as well. But yeah, basically be specific. Like what specifically about the fellowship is interesting to you is really what I would say. Do a little reading on the website. Oh, you are the goat dimmer. Thank you. Glad I asked her. Dimmer would have been dimmed, but JavaScript is popular, but gets super trippy when picking up new frameworks. Yeah, so that's where I don't know if I know JavaScript necessarily as much as like I spent a lot of time working in React. That might be more accurate. Bro, is that even you in your LinkedIn profile? I don't use social media. Like I haven't updated my LinkedIn profile. Like, I don't know. That's like my most like professional picture that I have, but it's from me from like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, yeah, no, it's old and it's kind of bad. I don't know. Do you use ChatGPT to solve problems? So I've done actually a couple live streams on ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT is interesting ? Because it can provide a lot of tools. Sal Khan, the founder of Khan Academy, recently did a TED Talk about how AI tooling like ChatGPT has the potential to give people custom like tutor level interactions one-on-one for education purposes, which is incredible and amazing, and I'm so excited and I'm like so happy because Sal Khan has like proved that he's like willing to do things not for money. Khan Academy is like a free academy that teaches like basically all subjects up to like American like second year college. I don't know what that would be equivalent to in different countries, but it's like a truly wonderful program. And that is kind of the way that I think of something like ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT as a tool that you can use to like answer questions and to learn and provide it as a resource, especially sometimes if you have a specific coding problem, because it's fairly good with code. But I really don't like thinking about using ChatGPT to replace doing the work yourself. And I guess part of that is me like, I don't know what the future is going to look like, but I at least personally value like the work that I do being something that I did with intention. And like a lot of what I do is because of something that I like felt, where like, oh, there's this problem that I wanted to solve, and it's like meaningful for me to go through the process of solving that. So I don't really like to ask ChatGPT to just like solve questions. But I also understand that there are things that like can be automated that are just kind of like busy work. So I'm fairly torn on it, but I do think generally it's being used by grifters on the internet to try telling people that this is like changing the world and you need to jump on this right now, when I don't necessarily know if that's actually what's happening. Yeah. Also, if you use ChatGPT, it can occasionally answer questions with like as a large language learning model. And if you're like applying to something like the fellowship and you're like asking ChatGPT for help with your applications, make sure you like read it over and remove that sort of thing. That's my advice on ChatGPT. Oh my God, I changed. Do I prefer Unreal or Unity? I have more experience with Unity because it's more flexible. but there's not, they're like built for different things. Unity is a much more flexible game engine. ChatGPT is going to change our lives. Nice one, Dimmer. Oh, it makes me sad when people say that because I don't actually know if that's true. In an ideal world, ChatGPT would replace labor, but it wouldn't, like, IBM recently posted that they're expecting to replace like roughly 30% of jobs at IBM with AI tooling. And that only sucks. That is only gross. And especially with the way that AI tooling is working, it is like replacing knowledge work and creative work. And that doesn't align with my values. Like, it's why, like, I specifically did a stream about, like, don't use AI to generate art. Like, there are better like, that's where we were getting resources. People kept talking to me in chat about, like, you can use AI to generate resources for your game. And I'm like, but there are artists who have, like, published their stuff open source for you to use that have been created by actual artists. Like, why not use that? And I guess the thing that I'll say is ChatGPT and, like, Stable Diffusion and all of these AI tools are built on copyright infringement and violating the ideals of open source. It is a private company that has taken all of this information that has been put on the internet for, like, the benefit of humanity, artists sharing their art, programmers sharing their code, and it's taking that and it's learning from all of that, it's internalizing all of that, and it's spitting it back out at people, but it's doing that within, like, a paid app. So it is taking open source and it is making it a paid commodity. And that just feels really gross. I felt very guilty when I used ChatGPT in a coding contest and I won that also. So this is again where, like, yeah, there are, like, people who win art contests with AI generated art and coding contests with ChatGPT and all these different things. And it's a, like, interesting moral question that I don't think we've actually, like, answered, and I don't know if we can answer right now. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It needs to be answered on a person by person level because not everyone has the same morals and values around it. But it's always hard. Developer is going to suffer. Yeah, again, it's impacting knowledge work and creative work. So, like, robots aren't going to replace people who are doing physical labor, but people who are, like, developers and writers and artists and things like that. Yeah, it makes me really sad to think about because I don't actually know of a solution because of the way that just, like, capitalism works. It prioritizes, like, low cost solutions. There was someone on the, like, Blender subreddit who talked about how they got their dream job doing 3D modeling and character design for a small game studio. And then all of their work got replaced by basically cleaning up things created by Stable Diffusion. And they no longer were doing the part of their job that they found fun. They no longer were actually expressing themselves. They were no longer creating. And I feel like that's, like, again, it makes me sad that the way that AI is going right now is replacing the things that humans have been doing for literally our entire existence. Like, to be human is to make art and to write and to draw and to sing and to dance. And AI is replacing that and leaving behind, like, the work that is just built by corporations for corporations in, like, this weird cyclical system. Yeah, it makes me kind of sad and kind of angry when there are so many, like, tech bro grifters who are saying AI is the future. And yeah, like, right here, ChatGPT is cool for content writing. It's not, though. It's the most generic, like, this is one of the things that makes me mad about the internet is you're, like, you've seen this for a while, but you're going to see it so much more. These, like, generated articles that don't actually say anything new. They are just regurgitating the most basic information about if you Google a place, if you Google like, oh, I need to buy a product, like, are there any reviews? There are these websites that just like scrape Amazon listings and put them all over the website to get affiliate link revenue and all of these things. Like ChatGPT doesn't actually write anything. It can't think. It can't have an opinion. It doesn't know what truth is. It can't write something that is good. It can write something that is the equivalent of if you outsourced it to someone who is working for way too little money and doesn't have the ability to care about their work and doesn't have the ability to be invested, but it doesn't have the ability to actually like write an essay that has an opinion, that cares about something. It doesn't have the ability to think and to express thoughts. I mean, yeah, to reply to official email and things like that, that's where ChatGPT can work. And presentation content, I mean, yeah, I have a friend who's a business student, and she was talking about how in one of her classes, people were literally just using ChatGPT to make their presentations for them. And it's just like, ugh, maybe I need to get off my high horse a little bit. But yeah, it just... I feel like there's this grind culture, specifically in parts of the internet, that are of people saying, like, the key to success and like happiness is to do as little work as you can and to like create algorithmically generated products for an algorithm. Yeah, AutoGPT cannot think. It is the ability to think and solve the problem, you say. It is the ability, if AutoGPT is what I think it is the ability to iterate. So it is the ability to try something, see if it works, and try it again. Yeah, we'll attempt to achieve it by breaking into subtasks and using the internet and other tools in an automatic loop. It can do a loop, but it can't think. And that is like large language learning models are industrial autocorrect. It is replicating what it has seen on the internet, and it doesn't... This is another thing. I wasn't expecting this to become an AI session, but we kind of got to where I wanted to end anyway. So I think we're okay. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. When people like talk about these large language learning models as being AI, there's this idea, and I had this idea when I was like first like getting into computer science, of like the thing that like crypto bros talk about, of like code is law, of like code can't be racist, code can't be prejudiced, code is like neutral and all of these things, but it's made by people. And ChatGPT has learned by reading things that people have written on the internet and all of these things. So it replicates the existing systems of power that we have. It replicates all the existing problems that we have in society. None of these things are like actually neutral. So its ability to like create these things, it is the ability to regurgitate what is the status quo. And it is the ability to like... all of these tools are based around the idea of telling a story. So when you ask it a question about a fact, it is telling you a story about that fact. That is just like how this technology has evolved. So it being like a tool around facts, like with ChatGPT being, or yeah, I think it's, anyway, with OpenAI being integrated with Bing and things like that, like it replacing fact finding, I don't know. There are a whole lot of pitfalls there. And I don't know what the answers are to that. It was an amazing session. Thank you, Dimmer. Hey, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I don't know. How did we get on this? What happened in chat that I started reacting to? We took a break and then we came back. Oh, and then someone asked if I use ChatGPT to solve problems. And then I went onto my generative AI soapbox. Okay. Well, we have a little bit more time. So what I'm going to do is we're going to download some of the resources. My display capture is lagging. There we go. Okay. Let's download some of the resources that we've been looking at. Everything Library 2.0 buildings. This actually looks pretty good. Okay. Let's download some buildings. These are beautiful, but a little bit too detailed for what I'm looking for. But these are beautiful scenes. Low poly tree pack. Great. Let me make sure I rename that so I know what it is. Downloads. Low poly tree pack. I don't actually think this fits with the other ones, but these definitely do. Great. Okay. Those are the assets that we were looking at, which we now have downloaded. Oh my goodness. This is unrelated to what we were actually looking for, but this is wonderful. For those of you who don't know what PicoCAD is, there's this wonderful thing called Pico 8. Pico 8 is a fantasy console, which is like the idea is developing for what am I trying to say? Developing for like older systems, like an NES and things like that, had many more like restrictions, and therefore it created more interesting outputs. So, oh my goodness, we did a Pico 8 stream in the morning. The Pixel Art stream covered Pico 8 in great detail today. Wonderful. Pico 8, incredible. And PicoCAD is a way of 3D modeling in Pico 8. And this is very cute. Okay. Let me look at chat here. Do you honestly like Unity Dimmer? I think studios are still much better than indie devs. Well, okay, so I think studios are still much better than indie devs. There's a lot to unpack there. Can we use Pico 8 console to make your own Chrome Dino run? Yeah, that would be wonderful. That would be amazing. Do that. If you want to do that, do that. That would be great. So do you honestly like Unity Dimmer? This is a separate question from I think studios are still much better than indie devs. Do I like Unity? Unity is a very good tool for creating your own games. As like an indie developer, an individual developer, all of these different things. Very good tool. That is separate from the games that are made in Unity and from indie devs. Quote, I think studios are still much better than indie devs. Better there is extremely subjective, and I actually have like the exact opposite opinion, because what I'm looking for in a game is not necessarily like a 5 hour long, or 5 is short for a game, like 100-hour long odyssey that I'm like grinding through that is all repeated content. Ubisoft. What? And I'm not looking for like something that is long just for the sake of being long. I don't like games that have been like stretched and padded. I don't have a ton of time, and I don't really like it's sometimes hard for me to play games. So I love indie games because there are these like short, small experiences that are packed with character and emotion. And some of them are bad. Yeah, just like you're in the MLH community, so you're probably a developer of some kind. You've probably made projects, and your websites can sometimes be bad. Your apps can sometimes be bad. Games can sometimes be bad. Indie developer games can be bad. Studio games can be bad. All these things. But I think that they are like an entirely different, like, beast, an entirely different genre than studio developed AAA games. There's also the question of like how big of a studio are you counting there? Because the game that we're going to be looking at tomorrow is technically made by a studio, but it's still an indie game. So like it's made by like maybe 10 people, which is like fairly small for games, but not the smallest. They're games made by 1 or 2 people. But then like all of these different things. I want to make a game to program my Zuckerberg avatar to act human when hit hard on stream. Oh my goodness. I don't know what you necessarily mean by your Zuckerberg avatar to act human, but that sounds absolutely deranged. Okay, well, I think we've reached actually how powerful is Pico 8. The point is that it is very not powerful. The point is that it replicates the development environment of like an NES, like these really old systems that really required you, like the games that you made at that point in time, game design was a less developed field. So there were many, many bad games that were created, but also because you couldn't just like slap realistic textures onto everything. You needed to make a good game. You needed to make more deliberate artistic decisions about what you wanted to say and how you wanted to say it. Whereas now there are like so many games that are just realistic for the sake of being realistic and aren't necessarily trying to like tell a story or have the user be feeling an emotion or like, yeah, I think video games are a way of expressing narrative and of storytelling like any other. I'm talking about games and like a very high level, like your 2048, your like Flappy Bird isn't necessarily telling a story. Well, kind of. There's an argument to be made here. Can you tell that I really like essay writing? But the point of something like Pico 8 is to give deliberate limitations, so you need to make deliberate choices. If y'all know of the game Celeste is a wonderful game that is like, I believe it won a bunch of Game of the Year awards. I'm pulling up the Wikipedia page for Celeste. That's the Steam page. Gameplay. Critical response. Yeah, okay. Am I gay? I wonder, do you think I might be a little queer? I just use like they, them pronouns. I don't know. There's nothing in my life that might be showing that I might not be cis. Yeah, okay. So, Celeste, wonderful indie game, won in like Game Developers Choice Awards, Best Audio, nominated for Best Design, nominated for Game of the Year. Like all of these different awards, Best Indie Game, Titanium Awards, like hugely like amazing game, wonderful. Celeste was originally developed for Pico 8. The development of Celeste began in August 2015 when the developers Matty Thorson and Noel Berry participated in a game jam where they created Celeste for the Pico 8. So this wonderful award-winning game started on Pico 8, where they needed to be really intentional about everything that they did because they didn't have much to work with. So they were intentional on like the movement mechanics being really tight and good, and like the storytelling of the environment being really good, and all of these things. Celeste was designed to be accessible, featuring game mechanics intended to make the game more forgiving, in addition to an assist mode. What am I looking for? Yeah. Really, a very good game originally developed for Pico 8. So, Pico 8, not very powerful, but that's not the point. Oh, let me make sure we save this. Island plan. MLH Projects, Global Hack Week Games. Great. And then let's make sure we save that as well. The best indie game still is and will always be Crab Game. Oh my goodness. Is this the Crab Game it is? Okay. I mean...
Of Mark introduce.
Wonderful. Amazing. Okay. Well, I think we've closed everything up. We've just been chatting for a bit. I think now is a good time to end the stream. Is this the game based on Squid Game from Netflix? Yes. Yes. Thank you all for coming. This has been wonderful. Tomorrow, 10 to noon, we're going to be doing part 2 of this, and then one... My brain just broke because I realized that I messed up my schedule and I was rescheduling something because I thought I was streaming today. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to be doing part 2 of this, 10 to noon, and then 1 to 3 we're going to be doing a Dimmer's buffering. Yes. We're going to be doing a game, or we're just going to be playing a game and talking about game design, and you'll hear a lot more of what I've been talking about today, of how game design is like storytelling, and that's told through the environment and the mechanics and the writing and all of these things combined. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Let me drop the check-in link one last time for y'all. Check in, get points for your guild, get extra swag, all that jazz. Check-in link in chat. What time tomorrow? 10 to noon is the follow-up to this one. 1 to 3 is us just playing a game together. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Which zone? That's in Eastern time. I'm an Eastern time person. It'll be on the schedule there, which will have all the time zones. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think this was a great stream. This has been one of my favorites so far. Yeah, thank you all. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, also, make sure to stick around at noon to 12:30, 12:45 Eastern time is Today in Global Hack Week, which goes over all the streams that are happening today and all this jazz. So make sure you stick around for that to get a good overview of everything happening today in Global Hack Week. With that, happy hacking, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.